Hello, welcome back. I have started on a new knit project, which is this sort of lacy, fuzzy thing that I'm going to turn into a poncho. I feel like a few weeks ago, maybe in another vlog, I made one of these in this yellow colour, and I want to make some changes to it, mostly to add some short rows in order to make the shape at the bottom more like even out, because obviously the poncho is like fully drop shoulder. It kind of just ends up a bit weird at the bottom here. I was working on this earlier this week and I made quite a lot of progress, and then I realised that I hadn't actually integrated enough short rows, so I frogged it all back, and we're gonna go again with some very knotted yarn, but it's fine, we'll make it work. I'm gonna meet up with Sophie to knit together at cafe later, so I just wanted to put this back on my needles so I'm able to work on it while I'm there and I don't have to stress about picking up stitches and stuff, because yeah, whenever I meet people to knit out and about, I just try and make sure my project is like as easy as possible to work on, because otherwise I am so flustered. I was gonna walk and then I was gonna drive. I think I'm actually gonna just get the bus. Usually I'd always walk into town, but I sprained my ankle a few days ago and I don't think I've been like taking it easy enough, so it's just really flaring up today, so I just think I'm not gonna walk into town. I've got a few errands to run in town, so I think that's gonna be like enough walking so I'm still using it, but like not overdoing it, because that's what I have been doing. It's not my first ankle sprain. I sprained this ankle on this side. I think this is now the 5th time, and my other ankle only sprained twice. So I kind of like know my way around these things now. It's definitely not one of my worst sprains, which is good. But yeah, I'm still like annoyed that I can't move about enough. But anyways, when I'm in town, I need to grab some more cables, because I'm pretty sure I've lost like 2 of my mid-length cables. And then I also just thought recently, I do this for a job, I think I'm allowed to have like all the different cable lengths and maybe like 2 of each from like the mid sizes that I use a lot. So I'm gonna go to the yarn shop and buy some cables. I want to buy some acrylic paints to sort out this canvas that I started painting, and it's behind my curtain and it's such a ball ache because it's quite big, and every time I'm trying to use things from my shelves, it's just in the way. Oh my god, it just started absolutely pissing it down. Look at that. Well, hopefully it's not gonna be this rainy when I leave. I also want to grab a little present for my friend. It's her birthday today, but I'm gonna see her tomorrow, so that's on the agenda for today. When I get back later, I also need to do some sewing. I want to crop my Deftones merch t-shirt because I'm going to go see them on Sunday, and I've been putting off cropping it until now. So today's like basically the last day that I can do it. But yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to wait out this absolute downpour, and then hopefully once it gets a little bit less rainy, I can go grab the bus. Okay, this is the fit. I am really risking it here by wearing flip-flops, not just flip-flops, but also very loose trousers. They are just gonna get wet, but it's fine. I refuse to put on socks and shoes. I hate it now. I'm so used to wearing my sliders and my flip-flops. I'm really not looking forward to not being able to do that anymore in the winter, so I'm gonna embrace it while I can. These jeans are from Zara, and then I'm wearing my summer poncho. The pattern is free on my shop, my Ravelry, on Instagram, TikTok, anywhere really. And then I've just got a black tank top underneath. I've been quite excited to wear this outfit, sort of this like in-between weather vibe. But yeah, this is it. Oh, and I've got a little tote bag to put all of my purchases in. But yeah, let's go and do some knitting. Good morning, it's the next day. I was going to do this last night, but then I can't remember what happened. Life got in the way. So I'm doing it this morning for me to be able to wear this t-shirt tomorrow. I did get all my bits yesterday, so got a bunch of these cables, different sizes. I got 2 of the 80 centimeters because they're the 2 that I lost and they're the 2 that I've always used the most, so that's been quite annoying. And then I got a bunch of these paints from Musicbed. I already have some that I obviously used last time, but I got a few more paints to try and fix it or do something with it, just so it looks like somewhat bearable to hang on a wall so I can get it off the floor. So all I really need to do for this is hem the bottom. Sorry, I just realised I didn't turn my mic on. We are back on. Yeah, I need to crop it like here, I want to say. Not too short, but yeah. And then maybe, do I do the sleeves as well? I do prefer generally a shorter sleeve. I might just cut the sleeves, you know. I'll do the hem first and then I'll see about the sleeves. Okay, that fits a lot better. What do we think about the sleeves? Should I crop them? Or does it look alright? I can't tell. I can't tell if it would just look stupid. I think I'm just going to keep them. I think it looks fine like this. However, I do have another t-shirt that I want to crop. I've had this t-shirt for ages and I never really wear it anymore because it's so long. It's literally like a dress, which is how I have worn it most of the time, but I want to be able to wear it more day to day, and this is just like too much space, so I'm going to crop it like up to here, so it's not super cropped, like it's still kind of long on me, long-ish, and then I might also do the sleeves. Again, I'll have to see once it's cropped, but yeah, let's do it. Hello? What are you doing? Meow. Alright, this one's done as well. I did take the sleeves in a little bit. I think it looks fine. Maybe I shouldn't have cropped it as much as I did. I feel like it would have been fine a bit longer. It looks good from the back. It's a little bit short at the front, but I don't know. We'll see if I actually wear it more. My knit project has come along very well. Great. I am mid-row. Hold on. Let me finish this row before I show you. I do this every time. This is the yarn I'm using for it, by the way, and it's very nice to work with. Okay, here we actually go. So this is how it's looking, and it has this little bulge in the middle, which is where I added the short rows. It's quite hard to see actually, but this middle section basically is much wider or like deeper than the side sections, because if you imagine this sort of being the front, it's going to be much longer than what it is right now. Then these sides are going to slope off my arm in the typical, you know, poncho style. And then this is actually lining up at the bottom here, whereas with this one, it was very much like it had a really long tip here and I didn't love it. I want like a clean line. So I'm hoping that with gravity and everything sort of falling off the arms, this bulge will even out. Potentially I did the short rows in the wrong position, I don't know. When I'm self-drafting, I can only look so far ahead, and some of these things I have to just try out. I don't know, this bulge is looking quite extreme now. Some of you are probably shouting at me right now because you can see what I have potentially done wrong here, but I can't see it yet, so I'm just going to be blissfully unaware and continue knitting like this much more, I'd say, and then I'll do the shoulders and stuff. But yeah, it's looking good, I think. Anyways, I'm going to head downstairs, do a bit more knitting on this, have some breakfast, and then I'm gonna head off to the charity shop. There was one charity shop that I couldn't go to my last thrifting video, and I really wanted to go back to that one. So me and my friends are all gonna head out together. I'm going separately in my car because of the boot space, because I'm like really hoping that I can find this very specific cabinet for the kitchen to cover up our boiler. But I'm also thinking that I'm probably jinxing it by taking the car. Like I just won't find anything big because I've taken the car. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I'm still crossing my fingers. I would like to find maybe some little frames, some fabric, the same stuff basically that I'm always looking for is what I'm hoping to find. I also need to clean my car. I need to do that now before I head off. It's in absolute state. So I'll do that, then some knitting, then we're gonna go thrifting.
Oh my, everything goes by. Toss it on the fire, lest it weighs you down. How the real seems to tease out our weakest points. So wide be our open eyes when we realize we are weightless now. A well without a bottom found inside, like a well without a bottom found inside. Take care that you don't end up with a cement heart. Take care that you don't end up with a cement heart.
It has once again been a couple of days. I've kind of had a bit of a busy weekend. I was in London yesterday for Outbreak Festival at Victoria Park, and I saw Idols, Amel and the Sniffers, Interpol and Deftones, which is pretty cool. And we've just come home, and really all I want to do for the rest of the day is sit on the sofa and knit and watch films, so that's what I'm going to do. I did actually find some DVDs when I was at the charity shop. That is the only thing that I found, unfortunately, but I think that is just always the way when you go in with a very specific idea of what you want in mind. You're never going to find it. So I'm happy with my 4 DVDs. I got Mean Girls, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Cars, and The Conjuring. So really good mix, you know? There's something for everyone there. But I am, I think, actually going to watch Sense and Sensibility today because I listened to the audiobook in preparation for the Daisy Edgar Jones adaptation, but I've never seen this adaptation, so I'm going to watch this one first now that the book is fresh in my mind. Yeah, I haven't made any more progress on my knit project. It's literally the same as it was last time I showed it to you, but hopefully today I can finish the front section and then, yeah, make a bit more progress on that. But yeah, that's my plan for today. Just going to hang out on the sofa, really. The rug had to go from this room. I honestly never really liked it in here, and I've realised recently that I think this room is too dark for this rug to be in here. Number one, for the room to be like nice, and also secondly for the rug to be nice, because the rug itself, like the design seems so dark in here in comparison to how it looked in the person's home where I bought it from. So the rug is going to go in the dining room once I have painted the dining room and it's all ready. But yeah, it just had to go. I love having the floorboards, and I think that's fine. I don't need to cover it. We spent a lot of money to have them sanded and redone, so I'm not gonna cover them up again. Yeah, it just feels a lot brighter in here. I also have to make some changes to this room, I think, just generally to freshen up a little bit so I can feel inspired again. Spent the last couple weeks considering renting a studio space to work from because I just haven't been feeling very productive working from home, like at all. I think there's also the element of it having been so hot, especially in this room, that I wasn't able to work in here, so I'm working from the living room, and that just never feels like work. It just feels like sitting on the sofa doing nothing really, even though I am doing something. So there is an element of that, but also just I think it's nice to like freshen up your workspace a little bit to like enjoy working from it again, because I don't need to rent an external studio space. I have a room in my house to do that, and I actually don't know what I would do with this room if I wasn't working from it. Like, it would just be like one too many rooms for us to have in a house. I'm going to order some different shelving units that are actually going to be closed up, not open shelving, because I think it is time for me to stop having everything out on show, and then I can get rid of the curtains, and that's like basically the only change I'm going to make, but I think it's going to make a big difference. I can reorganize everything, I can feel a bit fresher in here. So yeah, that is my plan, but I'm going to do that in a separate video, I think, because I actually haven't ordered them yet. But yeah, that has been on my mind recently. I made some good progress on my poncho last night, and then I did also block it and let it dry overnight. It dried so quickly because I really wasn't sure whether I did the short rows right, because as I've shown you before, it was bunching so much in the middle, but look how it blocked out. It's not bunching at all. It looks really good. I'm still unsure whether I should have just put the short rows higher up rather than at the bottom, but to me this looks fine. This looks like a nice shape, so I don't really know whether I actually need to change that. I'm quite happy with this. Look how nice and flowy this is. This yarn is lovely. I will continue to just knit now. I'm not going to change the short row. I thought maybe I would do the back panel with the short rows higher up to just compare, but then I would have to change the short rows for the front panel again as well, and I just don't know if it's really worth it. Like, I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. Sometimes I kind of have to also just like trust that I made the right decision sometimes, you know, like not overthink it so much. There's always multiple different ways that you can achieve the same end result, and this is just how I'm doing it. Someone else might do it completely different, but I really like how this is fitting now. I've been listening to Shuggy Bane on Libby, so I will just continue listening to that. I'm quite enjoying it. And yeah, I think that is my day for today. I might also head outside at some point. I think it's going to be quite nice and sunny today. So yeah, lots of knitting on the agenda for today. So I tried on the poncho yesterday together with the old poncho, the first sample, and I don't know why I didn't check this before, but my grey poncho is way too small. So I double checked my gauge, and my gauge is like really not matching up. So I think what happened was I already had a small gauge, but then I thought it was going to stretch in the blocking process, which is what happened to my yellow poncho. It stretched massively because of like the weight and everything. Yeah, that wasn't happening with the grey one, so it's just way too small. I like it, I think it looks really nice, but I also have to kind of like think about what do I want the pattern to be like, because the pattern is what is going to be out there, whereas if I was just like knitting for myself, then I'd just have a smaller poncho. I don't mind. Anyways, checked my gauge again. I'm going bigger with my needles, and I just really hope that this now doesn't stretch too much. Very frustrating because I've been working on this for so long, and it is quite tedious after a while, I can't lie. It's just kind of like going back and forth, and because of this process I'm also just like constantly frogging things back. Realistically, if you add it all together, I'm not just knitting one poncho, I'm knitting like 5 basically. But anyways, gonna cast on a new one, and also what I'm gonna do with this new one is I'm going to add the short rows to the top now. I don't think it actually makes that big of a difference whether they're at the bottom or at the top because of how flat the design is, but I might as well just redo it, see how it looks. I'm starting again anyway, so I'm gonna just change things around. We are heading to Halifax today, which is like 4 to 5 hour drive. I actually can't remember the last time I was in a car for that long, but I'm hoping that I can maybe do some knitting on the way. I tend to get quite car sick, so I don't know how realistic that is, but if I can, then I would hopefully get a good amount of knitting done on this new version. But we are gonna go see Turnstile. I saw them in November and I loved it so much. They are so incredible live. But yeah, it is, to me, worth it driving the 5 hours to see them. I think it's gonna be incredible. I'm so excited, and I'm going to have like the most fun, most ecstatic 2 hours of my life there tonight. I have also booked in a physio appointment for Friday for my ankle because I know I'm not looking after it very well. I never do, which is why I keep getting like repetitive strains. So I'm trying to look after it a little bit better this time, but I also just need to speak to a physio about how I can do that, because I was doing like slight exercises yesterday and it just instantly flared up and it hurt so bad. So yeah, I just need a professional to look at it. But just in case you are watching this video and you're like, why is she walking around in her sliders and also walking like 20,000 steps going to these festivals? I know I shouldn't, and it's really bad, but I've had these things booked and I wasn't really planning for an ankle sprain to be happening right now. So yeah, don't do what I'm doing, please. It's not good. And I am really annoyed at how poorly my ankle is healing. I am back once again from another gig. I had the time of my life. They were insane. The venue was really good as well. We had a really nice standing spot where we could see the crowd and obviously the stage as well. But it wasn't like overcrowded. We could have easily gone right to the front or sort of the front side. And I really wanted to, but I was being very careful with my little ankle. I didn't want to hurt it. Although like all I wanted was just be in that crowd. The vibes were immaculate. Definitely having a bit of the post-gig blues today because, yeah, they are just incredible, but I will see them again, 100%. This is how much knitting I did in the car. Not a lot. I really, really envy those people who can knit and read in the car with, like, no issues. Like, Ryan can play his games and stuff on his consoles. I have to be looking out of the window the entire time. Otherwise, I will be sick in the car, which is not fun. So yeah, just basically did the bottom edge, which is a bit annoying. I realised also, even if I had made more progress for you guys, it would have just looked the exact same as it did earlier on in this video. And I kind of like, whenever this happens and I film somewhat of a process of me knitting something, I always hate when I don't get to show you like a finished result or some kind of progress at the end of the video. But honestly, that is the most realistic depiction of what the process is like, of like self-drafting or not following a pattern. So much trial and error, and most of the time the error is just so stupid. Like, why did my gauge swatch not match up? I should have checked that before, or I should have also just like tried it on before. Or even when I wasn't trying on, I could really, deep down, I could tell that my gauge was too small. I could tell, I knew it. Sometimes I like to be delusional, and yeah, I hoped it would block out. Really, I should have known better. But that's kind of like the whole point. I don't think I have anything interesting to show you for the rest of this video. Like I said, it's just going to be me working this back up. So I'll probably end the video here. I'm going to do a Q&A next week. I have been asked by a few people, so I feel like I should do it. We also hit 60,000 subscribers, which is crazy. And I sometimes forget that people don't just like know everything about me. I'm kind of like just a stranger that you guys watch on your screen. So yeah, if you have any questions, leave them below. I'm also mainly going to add a question box on my Instagram story, probably this weekend. And I'm just going to sort of check which questions are being asked the most so I can answer the most interesting ones. That's everything I have to say. Thank you always so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. Also, thank you to everyone who has subscribed recently. That means a lot to me. 60,000 subscribers is kind of like a number that I can't really like comprehend. It has like no meaning. Do you know what I mean? Like it's meaningful in the sense that I appreciate you all being here and watching my videos. It's meaningless to me in the way that I don't understand how many people that actually is. But yeah, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one, in my Q&A. But yeah, until then, goodbye.